What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Patriot Business Alliance Weekly Wednesday Facebook Live. And we are winning on Wednesdays, baby. We're missing our boy Doc today. He's taking care of some family stuff, but with me is my buddy, Mr. Casey Ashmore, who rushed over here in a frantic, with a crazy, hectic day, which totally meets our topic for tonight. So, how was your day, Casey?
Um, you know, it was great. Every day is great. Every day is a win. And if you think that you're not winning, just think about the last time you couldn't work. So, however, it was not focused. Today was not focused. I got up extra early to get through just slog through a bunch of things, a bunch of tasks, a bunch of crap in my junk drawer, right? A bunch of things on my damn to-do list, and I'm just crossing them, but I'm not focused, right? And that exemplifies today because I was late for a meeting with you and Doc. We didn't have a chance to work out our situation at the studio, which is why we're broadcasting from home. And I'm not going to blame the AV department on that.
Hell no, because that shit.
But seriously, today was an unfocused. A lot got accomplished, but in an unfocused manner. And it's not like you're drifting, but you do feel like, you've seen a squirrel, out there. Hey, I got an acorn. Wait, there's another one. Yeah. Right. So.
Well, we call that here in our alliance the structured chaos of life, and we deal with it on a daily basis. And you, as business owners or leadership in your businesses, you understand that your battle plan for the day may not go according to plan. Some days it's right in line. It feels like you're moving in the right direction and things are, going great. And some days the shit just blows up and it just goes all haywire and you never know which direction you're going. So today we're going to focus on a topic that we've covered in the past, but we're going to drill down a little bit deeper into it. And we're going to talk about 4 different things here. We're going to talk about what is focus, actually 3 things. So we're going to talk about what is focus and kind of digging into the definition of focus a little bit more, some things you should focus on in your business. And then the third topic is going to be 5 ways to remain focused on whatever tasks you have at hand. So Casey, why don't you go ahead and start us off this evening, and from the top of the script there, go ahead and tell us what is focus. We always talk about stay focused, stay laser focused. Well, right. It's always easy to say that, right? But what is focus?
Well, I always like to break it down because I think in this busy world of all this information being packed into you, all the things that you got coming at you in your life, we read more now than any generation in the history of humankind.
Yeah.
We are bombarded with thousands of images and printed words a day through social media and email communication. Mm-hmm. We're probably reading 10 or 12 Sunday Dallas Morning News papers a day, maybe just skimming them, but your mind is being bombarded with information. So, sometimes I need to just break it down. You don't have to have that high an ASVAB score to get into Coast Guard, right? So I get the old dictionary out. What does focus mean? Well, it is defined as the center of interest or activity, the state or quality of having or producing a clear visual definition, right? And when you're talking about, focusing, it's when we're talking about actions, paying particular attention to a thing, an object, a goal, right? When you're focusing your sights on dinner or that pheasant, or you've got your bow and arrow set up, you got your compound bow, and you're focusing on a target, an elk, a deer, whatever. But I think that's critical just to break it down, break it down for what is it defined, right? The center of interest of activity, that state or quality of having or producing clear visual definition, right?
Yeah.
And why is that important, right? Because if you are unfocused, you are not seeing clearly. And that's kind of how I felt today, man.
Yeah.
You know, like example, last weekend, watched a fantastic sporting event. Some people did, some people didn't, right? But someone in that competition seemed extremely more focused than the other team, right? And you know,
Terrific, Tom.
all I'm saying is, so a lot of people are not watching sports. Doesn't matter, you know. When you're talking about racing, right? There was a big race this weekend, and there's another one coming up, and they're all going to be focused on the weather and
Mhm.
how that weather's going to affect the wheels, the fuel consumption. The track is going to be super, super slippery. And, when tires are cold and asphalt is cold, cars do not stick to the ground. They
Yeah.
slide, they move around, and they're going to be focused on speed, drift, fuel consumption, tire consumption. Which side of the car is going through tires faster? What brakes are going to be being broken down quicker? Right? They're going to focus in and see clearly that objective in front of them instead of what's in the side view mirrors, what's in the wing mirror, what's in the back view, who's coming up behind me, right? That's unfocused. And when you're unfocused, kind of how I felt today, I was in the middle of the pack, I was in the back of the pack, I was not dominating, right?
Yeah.
Unfocused. And so one of the key words of focus is interest. So, Jeff, I'm going to ask you to why is interest a critical part of focus, and what is the relationship between interest and focus?
Well, okay, so let me answer that question in a second, but I want to apply this to the business world because how you just explained the races that are going to take place, right? The weather, the this, the that, the other, right? Well, in our businesses, we deal with the weather on a daily basis, and I'm using that as a term loosely or whatever, but different things happen in your business on a day-to-day basis, and it's never really the same. Your end goal and your product and service may be the same, but the day-to-day operations, they may be consistent, but they're never the same. So while we're going through this, I want you guys to understand that that's kind of what we're trying to dig deep into tonight, is the fact of what's this, bright light, squirrel, nut, blah blah blah. So to answer your question, interest is important because it helps you maintain the focus on exactly what you're trying to be focused on, right? Understanding the benefit of being focused is the interest itself. If you understand that you need to maintain that focus, excuse me, ponchos for lunch. If you understand that you need to maintain that focus, that's the first step, right? You need to have the mindset when you go in, like your day was today, and I kind of had a day like that the other day too, where it's like my battle plan was set. I knew what I needed to do, but it didn't work out well. So when we say the center of interest of activity, the key word there is the interest word. Like you have to be interested in understanding why you want to maintain that focus and the benefits of it. So another one is producing was another one, the state or quality of having or producing clear visual definition. So bear with us, guys. There's a method to our madness here while we're digging into the definition of this, because we can talk all day about why it's important to stay focused, but we really want to drill down and help you understand what we're doing here. So you producing clear visual definition. So the producing word is you must put action to your focus. So the first step is being interested in becoming focused in the morning, right? We know we need to be focused. We have a lot on our plate today. We know that it's probably some days too much to do, and we all put ourselves in that situation. I do it frequently. I'm a give me more. I gotta stay busy type of guy. But you must put action to that focus next. So when we say put action to your focus,
That's
we're
so
talking about,
critical.
I mean, it's tough to do that with today's society and the phone's ringing and the text messages and the emails are blowing up. Uh, Sometimes we just have to kind of put those things aside. And we've talked in the past where it's like, okay, if you know you need to do A, B, and C in the morning, and those are your critical tasks in your plan for the day, take 15 minutes. That would be an action step. Step one would be, or alpha, the topic A that you need to deal with, take 15 minutes, turn that phone upside down, put it on silent, and just literally put laser focus for 15 minutes on that action and that task that you're doing. And I guarantee you, if you don't finish it, it's because maybe you need more time. It's not because you didn't focus, right?
Right. Right. And production matters, right? Winning matters, and winning is more often related, whatever business or professional football, professional racing, those are all businesses.
Yeah.
Right? Professional audio visual technology support, that is a business. Legal services, roofing, whatever you're doing, production matters, because production over time consistently equals winning.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's like, so here, what's the business lesson of nerding out on? This isn't like an SAT review. I'm pretty sure I was in the bottom quartile of the lower 74th percent.
I took the hazmat, but I didn't even take that thing.
Thank God for military service. I got the hall pass on the SAT. Because I'm gonna tell you what, the only college recruiters looking for me were probation officers. So,
the whole city, the whole police force of Mesquite knew me. So
I mean, it was like I felt like I lived in Copland. The movie, right? It's like, where are all these? I mean, do I walk down the street and I smell like a donut? Why are they all on me like a duck on a June bug? But seriously, production over time equals wins. And when you look at the most inspiring people, the most inspiring business people, the people in your circle who are inspiring business owners, they're producing day after day, week after week, getting up early, working on those free throws. Mm-hmm. And that's what's critical. Like, that's the takeaway here. Why are we talking about interest and then turning interest and focus into production? Because without action, right?
That's the key word right there, right? The production, and I'm gonna screw this up. Webster's Dictionary probably says something along the lines of something taking place to make a product, right? So when you look at that, you have to take something, which is that actionable step, separating A, B, and C in the morning because they're critical path.
Right.
Steps. You have to put the action to those things.
Yeah. You've got to make something using creative skills, right? Mm-hmm. Or mental skills, right? You've got to take your know-how and turn it into something that is going to get you a gain, right? Get you a yield, get you a grow, accomplish a mission.
Yeah.
It's got to give rise to some win, whatever that win may be, right? You want that girl to go out with you, you better get busy producing the right attention that she's going to be receptive to, whatever it is, right? Yeah. But that's, again, if you're not paying attention to your business is going to be like that girl you didn't pay attention to. She's going to leave you, right?
So here's one thing real quick. So attention, and here's our notes. I feel like this evening we'd like to share these with you guys. We don't typically do this because it condenses too small for some of the phones to read or whatever, but we got a couple things here. So your interest turns into production. Your production has to maintain attention. You see here, like a child, you must give a focused attention. You need it to grow. So as you start, that's an exercise more of anything else, is you're getting your mental set, your mindset to understand these steps here. And you have to give it the daily attention. You have to understand that the focus is a daily thing. And like anything, your brain's a muscle. So the more you work on the focus of your business, the focus of your plan for the day, the better you're going to get at it. So we all struggle with it. No one's any better than anybody else in this alliance with the 60 or 70 people that, we talk to on a daily basis. Everybody has to do it, but you also have to adapt. And Casey, I would like you to talk about this a little bit more. And I'll give you a great quote from one of the best, one of the most focused people I can think of when I was writing the script for tonight was, empty your mind, be formless, shapeless like water. You put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. And that's the infamous Bruce Lee. If anybody knows anything about that dude was laser focused on his martial arts. So talk a little bit about adapting, because that's an essential step in staying focused.
Right, right. You know, those of you who only saw Bruce Lee on cable TV, I feel sorry for you.
Well, we're not all as old as you, so
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to tell you what, man. Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris, I don't care if it was a rerun movie. It don't matter, man. They made so many great kung fu movies in the 70s. They just beating the tar out of each other, and yeah, some of the punches were pulled, but not all of them. Not all of them. And just an amazing business person, right? A guy who really came from nothing and became a master martial artist, created a whole genre of film that came to the United States of America. And people were like, we're gonna go to the movie theater and watch what? Say what?
yeah.
Right? I mean, seriously, man. Like this stuff would be on Saturday mornings after cartoons were over to fill in the gaps before college football, y'all. The kung fu movie, or right before, like midnight when John.
Don't forget about the late night.
Yeah, the late night, but it was junk TV, man. Oh, we'll run Godzilla in Japanese and a kung fu movie. Bruce Lee changed all that, man, and he did that with a couple things. One, he was an absolute amazing athlete, an extremely inspiring person, and he had a huge, huge ability to adapt, right? And this is a paraphrase, right? But he can change. He could change with the change, right? And one of the reasons why he was a martial arts master is that he stuck to no fixed patterns, right? It was a constant improvement against the opponent based on whatever challenges were coming at him. And if you think about people who excel and dominate their sector, that's what they're doing, right? When companies like Walgreens wanted to move into middle America, they did things like get rid of their, I don't know if you guys remember back when the drugstore also had a food service counter. Wasn't that long ago. That was something Walgreens did.
Yeah, it was.
Right? Most of their revenue came from the little sandwiches and coffees and the malts that you could get while you were getting a prescription filled. But they got rid of all that. They were just like, hey, man, we're just going to have a good, clean, whatever, and we're going to be like McDonald's. We're going to put them in desirable corners in good, growing suburban communities across America. They took the model that they learned from McDonald's, right? Where's the suburban neighborhood going to go up? What would be convenient for people? Build a driveway that goes in and out on both main roads, and we're going to put a drugstore there. And that's such a good model that CVS did the exact same thing. As almost every CVS is opposite a Walgreens everywhere in America. There can't be, that many drive-through pharmacies, man. But you think about it, that model works, right? They're adapting, they're changing with the change, and they're improving on the situations they face, right?
So here's oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. It's like cigarettes are a negative draw for the drugstore. How can you sell pharmaceuticals and health and then at the same time sell cigarettes, right? So they're phasing them out, right? They're adapting, they're improving based on changing culture, what have you. Well, Jeff, you're not going to get your Copenhagen there any longer.
Yeah, I just go to 7-Eleven. But so here's the deal with adapting is it's focusing on the things that you or I can control, right? You have to understand that the level of adaptation within your business, your structure, your organizational chart, however you want to say it, you have to understand that the key and the win in the focusing on this adapting is focusing on what you can control on. So keywords here, you cannot control things that are out of your control. Don't let those things cause you to lose your focus. And when they do, you have to take a step back, because we all get in this whirlwind of business and things are crazy. But I'll give you an example. This week is a slow week for my company. Slow as in, however, relative, whatever, a slower week. So we're able
slow to some, I bet.
Yeah. So I'm taking a step back this week and saying, okay, now's a great opportunity for me to take my new employee with me to just have him follow me around and do walkthroughs and have him follow me around and learn the business process and show him some things on the back end so he understands the big picture. So I'm adapting to what I can control. I can't control the weather. I can't control the politics, the news, all this whatever stuff. So I'm not even worried about that. You have to understand that the win for you here is adapting to what you can control on. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to segue into the next section here, and we're going to talk about some things.
So we got it, man. I love talking about Bruce Lee. I do, man.
I think we should do a segment on it because we can pull up a lot of facts on that guy. But here's what I want to talk about next is what you should be focusing on in your business. And these are just some things I pulled from some research I was doing, and they can apply somewhat to any industry. I kind of keep it generic. So the first thing is I want you to understand is the easy successes. And I'm not talking about the easy way out. I'm not talking about cutting corners. I'm not talking about half-assing anything in your business. I'm saying many business owners believe that they will succeed, but lack the basic business skills and the common sense to back that belief up. And I'll give you an example of the easy successes, right? Working with a marketing company rather than you focusing on the perfection of your logo and the perfection of the font and all the little details that don't anything. How about you let that marketing company do what they do and you focus on the areas in your business that actually generate some profits? So let's talk about some easy successes, Casey.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what. Here's an easy success, right? And Jeff, if I could scroll back up,
yeah,
and I'd highlight production and action.
Okay.
Right? You want an easy success? Done is better than perfect. Okay?
That's who told me that. You said that to me the other day. Okay.
Right? Yeah. But I'm not the only one who says that, right? Gary Vaynerchuk, Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins, a lot of these, but that goes all the way back to Napoleon Hill. And in my opinion, and I know I may seem like a broken record, but I think all of these business leaders, and they are super successful, super inspiring business leaders, and they can't dunk, and they can't throw a touchdown at 42, and they can't win their 11th Super Bowl or whatever the hell it is, right? And they're not going to win 7 Daytonas in a row, but they all learned that done is better than perfect, right? Just get it done. And yes, there are basic business skills and common sense that you got to have, right? And well, I mean, but the biggest thing is you got to have belief right here in between your ears. And it's a real easy thing to lose that belief in your success because there are so many challenges that are going to come at you in a day from, we talked earlier about the bombardment of information, all the things that are drawing your attention away from your action and your production, whether that's the good things, right? Your son wants to spend some time with you. Your daughter wants you to fly down to Houston and have dinner with her. Your mom wants to have a phone call with you on a Sunday afternoon, right? Your pastor wants to talk to you. Whatever those things, those are some good things, right?
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of other things that are just straight up not good things, like you're watching the news, you're watching the Dow Jones Industrial, you're reading MSNBC, Breitbart, CNN, Google Trends, because you're trying to find some cool crap to post, right? I've got to do a couple of posts a day, and I'm reading the news, and it's interfering with what's up here because I'm seeing some problems in the economy. I'm seeing some problems with my stocks in the stock market. I am allowing some things to detract from the hey, what's up, kiddo? Matt's going to Boy Scouts, so he wanted to come say hi.
Let's see it.
Come on over here, kiddo.
So we're talking. There he is. What's up, big man?
Gotta get his uniform away. Yeah, it won't be long.
You got to be careful with filling your mind with, there he is. What's up, big guy?
Hi.
Can you give us a knife hand? Let me see that knife hand.
All
There
right.
it is. Have fun at the Scouts, kiddo.
Knife hands. Autograph.
Mom loves the knife hands. That's why you
Love
always
it.
gotta. That's why you always gotta have a Funko, right?
You ought to have a Funkle.
Yeah. But anyways, let's get back to focus right
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Okay, so that was unfocused and unscripted, but also great. But the thing is get it done,
Yeah.
right? And don't allow like an easy success is done, right? I mean,
Well, the easy successes that we want to point out here are really the common sense things of, Doc says this best. If I don't know how to do it, I'm probably going to pay somebody to do it because my time is more valuable than that expense to my business, right? If
yes.
you're not a webmaster, why are you building a website, right?
Oh,
If you're not a lawyer, why are you standing in front of the judge trying to plead your case? Hire somebody that can do it for you. So the point of the easy successes is not the easy way out, and it's not half-assing what you need to do. It's understanding where you're beneficial in your chain of command and where you bring a benefit to your business, whether you're the owner, the CFO, whatever it may be, or maybe you're the lead technician on an HVAC company that brings a lot. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. You can apply this to anywhere. So understanding what you're good at is where you find the easy successes. Here's my favorite one, because I was breaking Casey's chops earlier, busting his chops about this one, was the squirrel syndrome. And we all heard of the adage of the squirrel, lights, nuts, whatever, squirrels, whatever. But this is a real thing. So while it's funny to talk about the squirrel syndrome, we want to dig down into this because we all do this. I do this. Casey does this. Doc does this. All of us. So we understand that there's 50 things that we need to get done throughout the course of a day, and we want to try to tackle those all at once. And it's just not physically possible, and it's not mentally possible. So abrupt dashes from one idea to the other, project to project. Nothing comes good of this other than frustration, and you become frantic. And really, at the end of the day, you don't accomplish anything. I've had days where I've took my whole punch list of things I need to do and sat down at 8 o'clock when I finally finished with my day and go, wow, I really didn't finish anything that I wanted to do today because I was so frantic running around, bam, 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 from one to the other. So how do we avoid this, Casey?
well, man, that's a hard one. And
Recognition.
I mean, one, you got to be self-aware.
Recognize.
Two, yeah. And you got to take a hard inventory about what the problem is. And then at the same time, right, do not let that spin you up and you get into a state of anxiety where you're doing nothing, right? You are producing nothing. You are accomplishing nothing. You're just again, a ping pong, right?
Well, you're blurring the lines between busy and productive.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're two separate things, if you ask me. And real quick, I just want to say, take a moment to pause here and just thank everybody for watching. Hey, Chris, good for you to show up. Gabe, thanks, man. I haven't seen you on here. Appreciate you joining us. And my man, Big Willie Epton over there. Sometimes focus needs more focus. That's actually true. So I started seeing some comments come in. So I just wanted to say thank you to them for joining us. And Karen, thanks for joining us as well.
Hey, that's much appreciated. I mean, we got, we got to thank you guys. Hey, Chris, stock market. Yeah, Chris, we are on Wednesdays. And hey, let's give a little shout out to Chris and his team, man. They got a little Sunday TV thing going, man. So
yeah, congrats, Chris.
Kudos, man. Kudos for that is staying focused, right? And the fact of the matter is,
it's recognizing, right? It's recognizing when the squirrel shows up. That's a big thing here. So, what do you do when you feel like the day's going haywire and you recognize the squirrel's in the room? Like today, did you recognize the squirrel was there?
No, I would say today was in a lot of ways, that was a failure because I didn't take inventory on that until actually you pointed it out to me, right? And that's after the workday. But before this call, before this video broadcast, and it was something I needed to hear because that's one thing about this alliance that I'm very thankful for is that these are partners in my personal business alliance, in my personal business journey. And you have heard us talk about that over and over and over, but there is a reason why. And again, Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, the most successful people in any endeavor, Abraham Lincoln, you name it, right? Insert name of successful business owner. They had an alliance of brilliant, hardworking people to hold them up when they were down, to give them a push when they needed it, and to check them on their bull crap. And yes, a lot of things got accomplished because I didn't allow anxiety to freeze me into a inactivity or uncertainty, but not enough focus, right, resulted in distraction, and other things broke down in the workday that should not have, because of that squirrel syndrome, right? And staying on task is super hard. And when you're stretched like that, I'm really thankful for this message. It couldn't be more poignant today. Some of you guys know that our team got a little lighter, right? Our team got a little lighter in 20. I worked my ass off to make sure we didn't lay off a person during coronavirus, and nobody lost their job in 2020. And the fact of the matter is, our team's lighter now by just the nature of business, right? People move on, right? They're going to water the grass somewhere else and get something greener. That's all good, man. I mean, nobody thinks that LeBron James should not be playing in LA making zillions of dollars. Go where the grass is greener if that's where you think it's greener. You could just water the shit you're standing on, right? Make that greener, right? Keep planting those seeds, but it doesn't matter. That's business.
Yeah.
But the thing of it is that I allowed myself to get distracted, and I was so appreciative of my alliance to help me get back to focus, right? To get back to focus, to start relying on my alliance to help me with these things that are distracting, right? And that's exactly what I did. I leaned into my alliance today. I created some solutions by turning to my power base, right? My power base includes Jeff Skinner, Doc Ranigan, Chris Massenberg, some other people, right? The people I work with, the remaining, 9 people that I'm still blessed to work with and call my colleagues every single day. Some of my former mentors, right? I leaned into a lot of people today to help, right, get that focus back. And that's so critical that you build your own alliance. And it doesn't necessarily have to be every single name I threw out there. It's got to be right for you, but that way you don't stray off course, right? And when you do stray off course, it's not going to take you, you're not going to be like 3, 4, 5 weeks down the quarter realize, oh shoot, man, I'm adrift. Or back on February 9th, I plotted my navigation course and I was off by so many degrees. Well, if you're at sea, if you're on a boat and you're plotting a course and you're off by a few degrees and you're just using a compass, that every degree you're off course increases by 1 nautical mile every so many nautical miles. So you could be way off course, right? Yeah. By the end of quarter 2, you could be way the hell off course. So make sure you got checkbacks, right? Make sure you have an alliance to help lift you up. Again, back to Napoleon Hill, back to Gary Vaynerchuk, Grant Cardone, the great Zig Ziglar, right? Have an alliance, Where'd they learn all that from, right? They learned it all Napoleon Hill, and he didn't invent it. He wrote it down. He studied the great,
Yeah.
and he learned their business model, and he told other business entrepreneurs to mimic it, right? Why did Carnegie get successful? Why did all these politicians become successful? Why did Henry Ford become Thomas Edison? Name after name after name. They became successful because they built an alliance of brilliant people, right? And then those like-minded minds went forward in a direction for success. And when they got off course, there was checkbacks. They knew it quick, right?
Yeah.
Jeff's on the phone, and he's like, "Hey, man, you're off course." And I needed to hear that, and I'm thankful and grateful to hear that. And
your mindset with that is phenomenal, because there's a lot of soft people in this world nowadays, and take that for what it is. And if you get offended, too freaking bad. But people need to hear more hard truth, and your friends and your alliance should be able to tell you that with love and expect nothing more than just to be helping you out. So when someone calls me out on my bullshit, I'm grateful for it as well. So if you got that alliance, we've talked about it over and over. Great. If you don't, come join ours. I promise you it'll help. I promise you you'll help us and we'll help you. That's why we've been doing this for 24 months together, to build this thing so we can take this message to North Texas, because there's somebody out there like myself in year 4 that says, you know what, I needed to hear that today. And we didn't plan for Casey to have a day full of no focus. You know what? But it just came to that, and he needed to hear this. We're putting this out in the universe because more than just Casey, I guarantee you needed to hear it today. And I benefited it from writing it. So here's what we're going to do now, because we're hitting about our 20-minute mark right now. I'm going to show you guys a few ways here, and we're just going to briefly skim through these, and I'm going to leave these up for you to look at. But here are 5 ways you can remain focused on whatever the task you may have at hand. And here we go with number 1. Write out what you need to accomplish each day so you don't forget the important tasks. Casey is he's a magician with this. I wrote you a little note in Sharpie. I hope you find it on your desk tomorrow, by the way. When a new idea comes to mind, don't stop what you're doing. Just make a note of it. That's critical. A lot of us, I do this on a constant. Something comes up. This is one thing I am good at. If it doesn't need to derail me, I'm going to write it down. I'm going to put it on my punch list for the day. And I actually do practice this, and I do implement this on a daily. The upside to that is that you don't stop your production. You continue to maintain your focus. The downside to that is your list is growing, right? So as you're focused on one thing over here, your list continues to grow. So don't stop what you're doing. Continue to move forward. Make a note that you need to come back to. And if you have to reprioritize that list because whatever just came up is now of more importance than step 4, 5, and 6, then just shuffle that priority list and get back to it. So go ahead and talk to us about number 2 there, Casey.
Man, focus on your overall ideas and implement an effective action plan. This is a critical one. I've heard it. I've heard it from so many different, and again, maybe you guys are like, why is this guy always talking about Napoleon Hill and Jay Shetty and blah, blah, blah? Because, one thing I learned 5 years ago when I was in year 2 or 3 of slogging through this dream of entrepreneurship is that, man, I need a mentor, right? I need a mentor. So I started investing in books. I started investing in audio, and I started investing in paper, and I started investing in education, in business, and critically, business mindset, right? Like making sure that this machine is in the gym every day, right? You need your body in the gym every day, and you need your mind in the gym every day, right? So you've got to focus on your overall ideas, and you got to stay motivated to focus on your overall ideas. Well, how do you stay motivated every day, right? That's what Zig Ziglar said, right? Well, here's how. It's like bathing. I recommend you do it daily. That's what Zig Ziglar said. And motivation is like bathing. You got to do it daily, because if you want to stay focused, you got to stay motivated, and you've got to take the next step. You got to have effective action plans. And Jeff is that guy can make a plan. And if we were going to organize a new country, right? If we were going to go to the moon and start a government, I would take Jeff Skinner with me. And that guy can implement an effective act. Whatever we had to do, whatever spaceships and equipment that we needed to get to the moon, I know Jeff would figure out what that was and implement a plan that would be flawless from start to finish, and everything would be squared away. And my plans are not always that good, right? Because I'm like, hey, man, done is better than perfect. But it still has to be effective. Like, done and half-ass is not effective, right? Done is better than perfect, but only if it's effective, right? And that's critical to, and again, like, let's nerd out a little bit. What the hell does effective mean? I don't even remember, right? It means okay, come on, Merriam-Webster. What does it mean? It means producing a result, right? Capable of producing a result.
There's that word again.
Actual production, right? Exactly. The actual production, or the ability, the power to produce an effect, right? Yeah. So the accomplishment, right, of a desired result. So.
Oh. You got that good Wi-Fi over there. That's why the desired results.
So these are the things that God, health, and wealth, man, right? So what is his effective action plan? God, man, that guy is down with the Bible, man. He's close to the big man. The big man is a big part of his life. Y'all have heard him share some very intimate things. And I'm not going to delve into that, because that's his thing to share with you when he decides to do it. But it's his number one mission. He keeps it close to his heart and soul, and he is committed to God every week to keep him focused, right? Because he knows that's the key to health, and he knows that's the key to wealth for him, right? In that order, right?
And it's different for everybody, right?
It is different for everybody, right? But he knows that these three goals are in his mind. It's simple, right? We were talking about Jordan. Why is he so damn good? Why is this? Why we're talking about Bruce Lee a minute ago? Why is that guy so good? Simple, right? And focused, right? If you know you want to be the baddest in your business space, what's that take? What's that take? Does that take 81 hours of continuing education in trial law in less than a year so you can be the baddest in your space? Does that take, excelling in low voltage technological innovation and adaptation, and going the extra mile, going for the extra education? You don't have to spend a whole bunch of money in college to figure out and focus on your overall ideas. In fact, for a lot of us, we realized after the fact that, a lot of what happened in college was, you could have drank at a lot of bars for a whole hell of a lot cheaper than you drank at the bars in college, and you didn't pay to skip classes.
Well, the big thing here is that you want to focus on your overall ideas and implement them with a plan. Someone here said, Weston, I'll throw it up real quick. Weston, thanks for joining us, man. I appreciate you joining in. Goals are only a dream until they're written down. Plan of action. But here's the thing. Love the comment. Absolutely agree with it. The problem with it is that comment has become cliche. That comment is something that is just thrown out there. Yeah, goals are good until they're written down. I love that one. But here's the problem: is writing something down doesn't mean shit. It's the action that comes with it. So focus on your ideas, implement the plan to get through those. So Weston, great comment there. Let's tackle our creative work first, right? Mindless work is going to drain your energy. I was just sitting here talking to Aaron Withrow this afternoon at the Space, and we were talking about mindless work, sitting in front of computers and those type of things. Sometimes you I did it for years when I worked remotely for the other company, but sitting in front of a computer, you really don't feel like you got any action. So start with the creative things first, things that get your juice flowing, get the blood pumping, things that get you excited about being involved in your own personal day. And then kind of wind your day down with the mindless work. So as you're kicking the day out the door at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, whenever you wrap up, you can do that. So start with the creative work on the most important, most toughest projects of the day. If you knock out the hardest thing you have to do first thing in the morning, the rest of the day is cake. It's easy money. You know what I mean? So that's a very simple one there. I'm leaving these things up for you guys to look at them. I don't know if you're on your phones or computers, you watch it later, but
Get that screenshot, man.
Well, a screenshot too, but you can go back and look at it on our YouTube page as well. We've been going live with on YouTube here. You can rewatch these. It'll be big. You can see it, read it, the whole deal. And if anybody wants a copy of this, shoot us a message and I'll share it with you. Happy to do so. So get in there, get going in the morning, get your blood pumping, do the hardest things first, do the things that make your brain work the hardest and be done with those things. So last two we have here, understanding. This one is important to me and I want to take a minute on it. Understanding what's worthy of distraction. Last minute, non-emergency issues kill your focus. Everybody's been there. Everybody. I don't care what business you're in. I don't care what industry you're in. Something always comes up where someone else always thinks the house is burning down when it's really not. You have to be in a position to where you can understand that it's okay to say no. Depending on what position you're in the company, that may be a little bit more difficult for you. As a business owner, I can say no. It's okay. As a business owner, you have to also keep in mind that saying no is not always the right thing. But just understanding what's worthy of your distraction is key there and staying on task, right? So let's talk a little bit about that real quick.
Man, that is such a hard one because it's so easy. So many of us are, I've got to have a clean email inbox. I've got to have all my text messages responded to, that we allow these notifications from all these cool social media communication systems. And maybe some of those are actually a business lead, right? A potential customer, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to ignore them, but you get a notification from LinkedIn, Clubhouse, whatever. What's the percentage of business leads that come in that way? It's probably pretty low.
Hey, it happens though. It happens. I was at your office fixing some stuff yesterday and I got a call from a client. It's a business lead. Just so happens I was loading up the truck. Had he would have called me 20 minutes before that when I was in the thick of it, I wouldn't have answered. So it's all timing. That's the point of topic number 4 here is understanding what's worthy.
Yes.
Distraction.
Yeah. I mean, again, that email inbox, it definitely, I've changed my game on the email. I don't believe that, and there's a whole lot of, you should just allow email to be answered in once in a 24-hour cycle. You just got to take command of your inbox and clean it all out by the end of the workday. And a lot of us are compulsive like that because we don't want to ignore the needs and requests of people that we have to work with in our business space, whether they're our vendors, whether they're customers. It doesn't matter what it is, right? But that is something that can be extremely distracting, like Jeff was talking about in, tackling creative work first. Sometimes there is mindlessness in going through your email, right? I mean, some of those emails you don't really need to be on. Sometimes you're just carbon copied on them. It's communication between, subcontractors or other vendors, or again, you are in the middle, you're in the thick of it, as you said a minute ago, right? Where you are, creative juices could not be higher, and you are about to really move the needle and satisfy that client mission. And then bing, right? And then you're like, damn, I got 25 unread emails. Let me just sit here. let me sit here and make sure nothing's my pants aren't on fire on anything else.
Yeah.
Then you're trying to turn back to the client mission that you just blew off, right? So your creative mindset is fractured for a minute, and then you're trying to refocus. So keeping some space between non-emergency, last minute, other distractions. If they're not worthy of distraction, that phone has no constitutional right to be answered.
Well, man, I'll be honest with you. I'm a sucker for my email inbox. I use it as a tool, as like, hey, the inbox is full. I got a lot of stuff to do. The inbox is empty. I do, but I've started learning more that. And speaking of emails, real quick, we have our email here. So if you guys want a copy of these notes tonight, shoot us an email. We'll send it over to you. But I've started learning that I have been putting too much focus into my email inbox. I just actually went through a changeover from a Gmail address to a blacklabelav.com address, and that was a beating. That was a kick in the nuts. That's the easiest way I could say it. Holy shit! You want to talk about looking back at the last 4 years of emails? I mean, I was transferring things. I was like, why? So this is a vital topic for me right now because I spend too much time in my inbox, way too much time. I was talking to a colleague about a week or so ago, and he says, dude, I never check my emails. You want to see a man that never checks his emails? That daggone Doc Rennigan. Look at that icon on his phone. That dude don't ever see his emails. But somehow still gets a way to get things done because he remains focused. He tackles the things that are tough in the morning. He delegates properly. He doesn't try to build websites because he's not a webmaster. He allocates resources and money and time to, doing certain things like that. So the big idea behind our discussion tonight was to help you understand what focus is, some keywords within those definitions, which is a little bit different than we've done things in the past. I wanted to really drill into that.
Yeah.
What you can focus on and how you can stay focused. So by all means, replay this, share this with your friends and family if you feel like somebody needs to hear this, because I think we all need to hear the importance and really the definition of focus from time to time. And I hope it helps somebody out tonight.
Hey! A couple of cheap shots out here, Chris. You do not use a sextant, right?
What's the sextant? What the heck is that?
It's a compass attached to a telescope.
Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Good old Chris trying to throw some love.
Yeah, Chris is trying to get nautical over there, and Gabe is like talking. He's like, "Hey, Gabe, thank you." And Napoleon Hill is not old, man. And Napoleon Hill's got a lot of great stuff. And maybe he didn't know how to use a sextant, but I'll just tell you that real quick, Chris. You measure the sun at its zenith, and then you drop a lead line in the water, and then you multiply that by the square root of beryllium, and that's how you figure out where you are in the world.
Is that legit?
No.
Oh, that sounded.
You got to just say it with authority, man. Done is better than perfect.
Say it with your chest. Anyways.
Hey. No. Hang on. We needed a little levity.
Yeah.
Stay focused and stick to your commitments, right? And I know we're winding up, but break in your work day. And here's something I failed at today, right? Break in your work day, right? I mean, we did this a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about, there's 168 hours in a week, blah, 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 right? You take away all the time you're sleeping, napping, and eating and going to the little boy's room and all these other little things that you got to do, right? You've got about 6.5 hours of work day in every day. Right. In every day, that's really all you have. Right. And even if you're a superstar and you're just like, man, I'm just going to have a granola bar and muscle milk for lunch, Yeah. I mean, that's not so 6.5, so
look at the lawyer.
Here's how you can break that day down. Right. And again, prioritize those big 3 creative projects that you got to knock out, right? And make sure that they're in line with what your overall goals are, right? If your overall goal is to have 7 years of income in the stock market by the time you're 35, right?
Work.
Well, not only do you need to get to work, I mean, I would need a time machine to do that, but you know what I'm saying? But if that's your goal, right, then maybe maybe you don't need to be spending so much money on some of these other distractions, right? If your goal is really to have this big savings, right, to have this big stock portfolio, investment portfolio, you want real estate, you want to own multifamily rental property, right? Then maybe you need to not be thinking about, hey man, that Mustang Shelby GT looks pretty damn good. Maybe you don't need $100,000 race car sitting in the driveway. Maybe you need to put that $100,000 in the market, right? You get it invested in something. Make sure that your actions align with those overarching goals, but also break down your workday so that you are staying on those 3 big creative goals a day, right? And make sure those 3 goals are in alignment with your other bigger goals. And here's another thing real quick, prioritizing other tasks, putting together that timeline, 6.5 hours basically in a workday, guys and gals. So that means in every hour, there's 3 20-minute segments, right? And you can get a lot done in 20 or 40 minutes. I mean, I've seen Jeff hustle, man. That guy can get a lot done. And I know it's different for different professions. When you when Rannigan and his crew are on a roof, they're usually on that roof for 2 work days. But you still get lots of little steps to accomplish that overall mission. And when you're talking about how many, that's 1,200 minutes, right? I mean, we all know the value of a minute. How much can you get done in a minute, right? Well, if you're not staying on task, right, and you're allowing distractions to creep in, cleaning out that inbox, man, that might take away 20 whole minutes, right? And maybe that's not an emergency, right? Or maybe that phone call that you shouldn't have answered, still great. Hey man, it's great to connect with you, old buddy. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Is that a 20-minute phone call that would have been better served to return that on your lunch hour, after work, where you can be focused on catching up with that old bud or talking about that old, what have you. And that doesn't detract from your creative, positive energy on your mission to accomplish and produce for your client. That's kind of a big takeaway for me today. Yeah. My conversations with Jeff leading into tonight. So, unsaved rounds, Jeff.
Man, I think we covered some good stuff tonight. I think what I love the most about this is when we need to hear these messages the most. Somehow they just show up for us. And at the goal of the Patriot Business Alliance is really just to provide as much support and gratitude to the North Texas area for small businesses that we can. If you guys could do us a favor, share this video, helps the reach out big time. It also helps somebody that you may not know. I mean, we've had people, I'm not even shitting you right now, as far as Africa to see some of these videos. Yeah. That is dead honest truth, man, because when the dude showed up in the comments, I'm like, say what? You're from Africa?
Yeah.
I mean, so just by sharing this video one time could reach somebody that probably really needed to hear this and might help them excel in their business. It might even talk them off of the ledge from shutting their business down.
Yes.
They can be that much right now with the way things are going. So lift your people up, call and check on your buddies. Obviously prioritize your day. Go back and look at these notes. Like the email is there. I'll throw it up real quick again. If you guys want a copy of the notes, you guys want to get in touch with us, see how you can get involved. You want to be, come over to the space, sit down and talk. Doc has done a great job with the space, putting it together. We can get together. We actually, let me bring this up. We're working on the logistics and everything to do our February whiteboard party that's coming up, which means come to the space, have a cold Coca-Cola, sit around, talk with some folks about business. See how you can better your business or help maybe better somebody else's. But Casey, I know your day was crazy today. I appreciate you jumping on. Go ahead and write down those goals for tomorrow and crush the day. Tomorrow's $10,000 Thursday, baby.
$10,000 Thursday.
That's it. Man. So,
thank you, Jeff.
Y'all have a good night. Appreciate it.
Thanks to all our viewers, guys. Please like, subscribe, and share. Share it to your power base. So that way we can keep building this power base and we can all rise by lifting others up. Thank you.
Y'all have a good evening. Appreciate y'all.